Today we did the Rising Water Candle Lab, in which we incorporated the CER model, claim evidence reasoning. So today, in this investigation, as it states, you'll observe a phenomenon in a simple experiment involving water level and a burning candle. You will then write a claim to account for what occurred. You will engage in further experimentation to help you gather evidence, data, to support your claim. Finally, you will collaborate with your colleagues to produce a reason to justify how your evidence supports your claim. So the setup is all ready. What we're going to be doing is working the claim, evidence, and reasoning model here. So again, we're going to produce a claim. We'll write it right there in the line. The evidence I've helped you out with, we're going to be gathering evidence in the experiment, and you'll fill it in here in this box up at the top right there. Data table 1.1, that's going to be our initial observation that we will record. And then we'll start experimenting. We'll try to add some variables here, and we'll do one of them in data table 1.2. And then we'll have another variable that we're going to experiment with, and we'll do that in data table 1.3. This box is for any observations that you make past the data. Once we conclude the lab, our objective is then to go ahead and reason. We have made a claim for the phenomena we saw. We are now going to tie the data to the claim. We're going to go ahead and explain why the data supports the claim. That'll be our reason. Should be a paragraph. So the first observation that we'll make is we're going to put a burning candle in here. We'll put a burning candle in here and observe a phenomenon. Now, as it states, we need to go ahead and write the volume before the candle is put in there. So let's observe our volume. These numbers are in centimeters. So it looks to me, well, I'm going to let you record that volume right there, but you can see it. Let's put a candle in there. There's our burning candle. Let's now put the flask over it, the Erlenmeyer flask. We'll call that good for now and record that volume. Again, these are in centimeters. We will estimate in between, so I'll let you kind of figure out. You got 9 centimeter, 10 centimeter, 11 centimeter, and 12. So go ahead and figure out what that number is and go ahead and record that. That is your afterburning for trial 1. For trial 1 on data table 1.1. That's our phenomenon. So something happened. We're going to think about that. We're going to try and explain it by making a claim. So we're now going to try and produce a claim to explain what occurred in here. You have 3 boxes. You have 1, 2, and 3. You're going to check one and state that that's your claim. So one of them's correct, 2 of them are wrong. But the point of this lab is to go ahead and get us into the CER model. So choose whichever one that you believe is correct, and that'll be our claim for now. We're going to do some other experiments in a little bit, but you know what? Sometimes we get bad data. And just to make sure that this is not bad data, this first value that we recorded here, we're now going to go ahead and complete trial 2. So let's pull this out. And let's relight that candle. Candle is relit. Don't believe that initial volume has changed. So what we're going to do is now put the Erlenmeyer flask back over it. and continue with our observations through the process. Here we go. Trial 2, data table 1.1. So, it's a little different. So not exactly the same as last time, right? Okay, I think that I knocked that candle. So I think I blew the flame out. Let's redo that one. That one was just bad. Hold on. Let me pause. We are redoing trial number 2. I didn't like that one. Sorry. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and put it over and redo it. That's better. I blew out the flame on accident on the last one. Okay, looks like we have our data. Could probably wait a little bit longer, but I'm not going to. So there you guys have it. That's your final value right there. So I'll let you measure that. Record the data. And what we want you to do now is go ahead and figure out what's the difference between these two numerical values. Okay, that's the rise that we got. So figure those out. And that is our initial observation. We have a claim based on to try and explain what's going on here. Now let's have some fun and start experimenting. Let's change a variable. Let's mess things up and see if it can help us with our claim. We're now going to try 2 candles. So let me get that set up. So we're now on data table 1.2, experimenting with 2 burning candles. The before volume, I have not changed the water. It is that same value we had before. So let us now try this with 2 candles and see the effect. So this is now a new variable, it'll be our independent variable, 2 candles. And let's see the dependent variable, the results from it. Looks like there's a good final number for us right about there. That's looking right on. Make sure you estimate. Make sure you estimate. Be accurate. Let's go ahead and reset that. That is trial 1 for data table 1.2. Here is trial 2 for data table 1.2 with 2 candles. Seeing if this supports our first trial. Was the data good? Okay, we'll call that good right there. Go ahead and make your measurement, your For trial 2, the afterburning on table 1.2. We'll cut it short just a touch, but it looks like it's still rising a little bit, doesn't it? We'll call it good enough right there. Okay, what we're going to go ahead and do now is, that was one variable that we tried, was what about 2 candles? What does that do? Let's go ahead and try something different. Let's go ahead and redo this, except go back to 1 candle. We'll call it our control group, I guess, and try really cold water in there from that cooler right there. So we've now taken and put some cold water instead of tap water, ice cold, into the bin. You can check out the initial reading mark right there. You can make that measurement into your data table 1.3 for trial 1. Let's put the candle in. So now we have the candle in the cold water for data table 1.3, testing out this variable, the cold water. How will that affect things?
What are you doing? That's cheating. What's my paper? Guys, we need to do this. These candles you need for these candles are turning that way, just turn it around. Candles so they're tilting more forward.
There you go. So that's going to be your value for trial 1, afterburning. Let's reset it again and do the second trial. We now have our candle relit for trial 2 on data table 1.3 involving the cold water. So let's put the Erlenmeyer flask over it.
Oh, look how big those are.
There is our data. It's probably pretty good about right there. It's recording in centimeters. The volume, data table 1.3, trial number 2. Make sure you estimate. Now we have collected all of our evidence. You're going to want to make sure you record other evidence that you have observed throughout the experiment here. If you need to, you're looking at your evidence and you're going back up to the top and you're thinking, that claim that I chose, that claim that I X'd off, if you're looking at the evidence and you're like, I don't see how this evidence is supporting that claim, maybe you need to rethink the claim that you made. You're always okay to change your claim if you feel that the evidence does not prove it anymore. So feel free to change your claim if you need to. And now you're going to be on the last part down here where you are going to reason. You're going to connect how the evidence substantiates your claim. How does my evidence support my claim? Reason it as if you'd speak it to me and tell it to me. Write it down. It should be about a paragraph. And that's the lab.